Hi guys, what's going on? What's happening? Sometimes we we love. Now is the fruit season for most fruits are in now, and I know mangoes are in abundance, right? Sweet mango, any mango. Now is the season for all mangoes to be in. So want to do anything to get mangoes because the season mainly comes once per year, but there are times you can get other mangoes throughout the year. Different mangoes, but regularly. Now is the season for mangoes. So some of us who like to eat a lot of mangoes, make mango juice, and do different things with mango. Make mango chutney, mango dressing, different things. Right? Some people are very creative with using different things to make different things to enhance their meals. No, very surprisingly, I always wonder why persons like to plant fruit trees right near power lines, or I should say below, or let me better say nearby, because there are many times when the fruit trees are young, it's not a problem because it's low. But think about a few years when the trees have gotten mature, bearing more, and it ends up entangling with the overhead wires. I've seen that so many times. And persons would leave the back of their yard where they have space and put at the front. I don't know if they want persons to see that they have certain type of mango trees or what, but I think it's best. And sometimes the soil too cause them to put it at the front because at the back may be stony, so the tree would not do well. However, I have seen and read where this person was picking some mangoes, and the mangoes look very juicy and nice, guys. And I don't know why he used a metal. I don't know if it's a length of steel, but he used a metal. And I was picking the mangoes with a metal stick. And it got entangled with the overhead high tension wires. And you know what would have happened? It transmit the current and electrocute him. And he fell to the ground where he was. And you know what would have happened? Because when you become electrocuted, somebody skillful has to be there to rescue you. And sometimes it sucks you dry and then it drops you because your body has liquid blood in it. So it transmits through the metal pipe to your body. And maybe if he had on probably some leather booting or leather gloves, maybe he just was there in an ordinary slippers and with his bare hands, more than likely. So he lost his life. So he didn't get the mangoes that he went picking, whether he was going to sell them or eat them. And he wasn't that old person. He wasn't that old person. He was an adult. So I don't know why persons always, sometimes children climb, especially mango trees, fruit trees on a wall, and breadfruit tree, plum tree, all those fruit trees. People always put them where the lines they become entangled, and they sometimes they don't want to cut them. Sometimes when you're having a hurricane, if the hurricane is not coming the next day, they don't try to get them cut, and that's the time they try to reach out to JPS, who would be so busy all over the place doing other things, to come and cut some. And when they come, they don't want them to cut off all the limbs because they want to save the tree. When the tree should have been put elsewhere. I've seen persons call JPS to cut, and when JPS cutting, they're quarreling that they shouldn't cut down the tree so much. But JPS knows what they're doing. So after that, now when the tree get high and tangle up in the wires, they don't call JPS again. They try to do it themselves. So when the power is out, they try to do whatever they are doing. It is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Even when it's not hurricane season. Even at the back of the yard, they should pay attention to the height of the trees because the hurricane winds can also blow the tree onto your house or your property, causing damage as well as the next person's property. So, and it can cause loss of life because you may not be the one to climb the tree or to pick the breadfruit or the mango or whatever the fruits may be. Mango trees tend to grow big, and breadfruit trees especially, and coconut, and they tend to entangle. So when that does happen, persons are going to become unalived. So you plant the tree for the for the sake of to be electrocuted. No. You plant the tree, you want to have shade, and you want the fruit from the tree. So what we have to you have to use up knowledge and be wise. People carry everything up, and then when they put them up by the where they become entangled at the roadside, you have persons who pass by and pick them. Then they say they cannot get anything from the tree. Have you ever heard anything like that before? I think what I'm saying is not new. Let's say the people then picking off the mangoes or the breadfruit when they are passing because they're not asking for it. But if you put it at the roadside, somebody's going to pick it. And then it's going to grow high into the overhead high tension wires. Nobody should do that because it's not theirs. But it's all there showing off. And sometimes the best ones bear towards the high tension wire are outside the road. So persons must take precaution when they are planting their fruit trees. If they don't have the space to put it, don't bother with it. Sometimes they plant the fruit trees and after a while they have to cut it down because it starts to go deep down and crack up their houses. And sometimes crack up their houses as well as the neighbor's property, neighbor's house. I've seen that man create a bit of unkindness between neighbors, unhealthy neighborliness. Sometimes the trees are there with all that of leaves falling into the next person's place. It's not nice. But what I'm looking at more is how you can become electrocuted. You are there at home and you see some lovely mangoes. And you may not go close to the wire, but remember, the stick or whatever you used to pick, the tree is already green. And your body will attract. And once it attracts, it's difficult to survive. Now, this my person. I remember I saw something some time ago where a boy was electrocuted doing the same thing, picking mangoes, the day after his birthday. And I say, why? Those persons keep planting fruit trees near. Trees have a way of growing. No matter you're going to cut, they have a way of growing towards it, going towards the wires. Sometimes they're so high, and after a while, nobody wants to climb the tree. Sometimes you call the authorities to come. They may not be able to come at that time. And people sometimes doesn't want them to cut the tree. They tend to cut off a little bit of the limb. Best thing to do is to put the tree away from the line. You can't buy a fruit tree for it. For the cause of the fruit tree, you're going to lose your life. Being electrocuted is nothing nice. A person who gets electrocuted doesn't necessarily live. And those high tension wires are high voltage. And if it's small at the bottom, they are still high voltage. They have electricity that can cause you to lose your life. So guys, remember to be cautious. Wherever you put in your fruit trees, wherever you're living, wherever you are, hearing my voice, watching the video, be careful of these distances, the closeness to those high tension wires. And be careful also of the closest of those trees to your house, because it can crack the building and make it get weaker, as well as when there's a strong storm, it can push it onto the building. So sometimes there's no space to put the tree. So I think it's better when you don't have any space, buy the mango and go home and eat it. Right? So nobody would have to squeeze themselves to pick any mango or breadfruit or have to send anybody on the tree. So imagine if that man had sent a younger person on the tree to pick the thing. What would have happened? The person would have died, would have been electrocuted. So let us practice caution in everything we do. Be careful where you put your fruit trees. That's a song that needs to be learned by everybody. Be careful where you put all your fruit trees. And even if the trees are for shade, be careful where you put them, because those trees can cost your life. Okay guys, remember, if you haven't subscribed to the video or subscribed to the channel, please do. What are you waiting on? Come on, subscribe to my channel. And for those who have already subscribed, thank you so much. And for those who are just watching, come and subscribe. Come and join. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.